Welcome to the Man Overboard module, which is designed to help you save a crew member should they ever fall overboard. The procedure for dealing with a man overboard emergency depends on whether or not you or anyone else saw the crew member fall overboard. If you see a crew member fall overboard, you must shout "Man overboard" as loud as possible, repeating this until assistance arrives. You should throw a life ring or other floating object overboard for the person to cling to, and you must try to keep your eyes on the person at all times. In a swell or at a distance it is very difficult to detect the head in the water, and you may not regain sight of them. Throwing multiple floating objects overboard can act as a trail to help maintain visual contact and to help direct the boat toward the crew member. If you are alone on the deck of a noisy boat, you may have to enter the wheelhouse, galley, or accommodation to alert the skipper and other crew. You must then try to re-establish the location of the person in the water, and point in that direction as the boat is maneuvered towards the person. Spotlights should be used at night if available to keep an eye on the person. A fairly recent development that can be thrown to a man overboard is the life cell. This lightweight flotation device can be easily removed from its bracket and thrown to a person in the water. It can be easily gripped by the person to provide additional buoyancy, and it stores the EPIRB, flares, and other safety equipment necessary to aid their recovery should crew lose sight of them in the water. It also floats off its bracket when submerged, and is fire, impact, and UV resistant. The steps to recover the person will depend on specific circumstances. If the person is close, uninjured, and a good swimmer, he or she may be able to swim back to the boat, or at least reach towing wires or trailing fishing gear before being lifted on board. A life ring with rope attached or just a rope may be an option to pull the person alongside. If the person is unable to reach the boat, the skipper may need to turn and maneuver the boat back to the person in the water. Remember to keep an eye on the person at all times, and point at them so the skipper can maneuver in their direction. A life ring or rope will then need to be thrown to the person so they can be pulled alongside. Medical treatment should then be considered, including for hypothermia. If a person is missing on a boat and suspected to have fallen overboard without being witnessed, the skipper will first need to press the event or man overboard button on the navigation plotter, ascertain how many people are missing, and the approximate time the person or persons went missing. The skipper will then need to conduct a Williamson turn to steam back in the opposite direction over the same water, while accounting for wind and tide. The skipper will also need to call other boats in the area for assistance, transmit a pan-pan emergency message on the VHF or UHF radio seeking additional assistance, or call for assistance using a mobile or satellite phone. All eyes should be on the water searching for the person, and to the extent possible on a noisy boat, listening for shouts of help by the person. Spotlights should be used at night if available. A record of the search pattern must also be kept by the skipper should the search area need to be enlarged and to guide other assisting boats. If the person is detected, then the boat should be positioned alongside and lifting gear used to haul the person on board. Medical treatment should then be given, including for hypothermia. Sadly, too many individuals fall overboard each year and are not found, while a small number of individuals do likewise but are fortunate enough to be rescued. Individuals who leave the wheelhouse while on watch to urinate over the side, or to work on the deck alone without telling anyone, or are under the influence of alcohol or drugs, are at particular risk of falling overboard. Of course, working on the deck in heavy weather also increases your risk of falling overboard. In short, you should tell a crew member should you need to be on the deck alone so he or she can raise the alarm if you go missing. If you are unfortunate enough to fall overboard, there are a few things you might do to improve your chances of survival and rescue. If possible, you should yell "Man overboard" loudly and repeatedly while the boat is close, or if wearing a PFD you can use the whistle. If you happen to be caught in fishing gear, you will need to take steps to free yourself. If wearing a PFD, it should be inflated, although depending on the design it may have already done so automatically when you entered the water. Wave your arms above your head and look for something to help keep you afloat. Rubber boots can be removed, turned upside down to capture air and used as buoyancy aids. If wearing a PFD, turn on your personal locator beacon if one is attached and use the heat escape lessening position or help position, which involves bringing your knees to your chest to maintain body warmth. Okay. You have now finished the Man Overboard module, so let's now review the material we have covered.